Hi, everyone. So this weekend, I was experimenting with a different kind of custom model. I thought it'd be useful to share my learnings. So I was experimenting with something called built-in AI, which is basically AI built into browsers. Now, this is not a web standard yet, but there are ideas out there to actually make it into a web standard. There's some RFIs there. But basically, this is AI built into the browser. So where you have models where the browsers can directly access without having to go to like an external model provider outside. And Chrome comes built in with Gemini Nano, which is basically an edge version of Gemini, which can run locally on most modern desktops and laptops. And so the idea here is that you really have AI built into your laptop natively. And this is really not a new idea because I know that Microsoft and Apple have been experimenting with this for quite a while as well. So, eventually AI may be just built into, or some of these models or lighter weight models may be built into our laptops as well. And so I signed up for the AI for the early previews to get access to this. And basically, what that enables us to do is set up certain flags. So if I go to Chrome flags, you can see that I've enabled device optimization and I've also enabled the prompt API for Gemini Nano. So this gives me access to these APIs, which are essentially the new APIs, JavaScript APIs, which enable you to talk from JavaScript to these models directly. Now, some of the advantages of having these local models is the fact that all data is can be locally processed. So if it's really sensitive data like PII, something you're processing it on your laptop itself, it's not going outside to any external vendor. You have a snappy user experience because usually these models should be faster if they're just running locally. And then of course you could run things offline as well. So you can have offline AI, which is super interesting in my opinion. Um, so I've got those flags set up, and there are some instructions. So once you sign up for the early preview, you get a list of instructions to set this up, and I followed those as well. And here's my experiment. Before I go into that, let me show you the JavaScript API itself. So I use the prompt API with some other higher level APIs like the summarizer API or the translator API, which kind of abstract away some of these prompt things. But the prompt API itself is quite simple. Now I don't know whether this is going to make the final cut for APIs, but it is quite a nice API where you just create a prompt session and then you just prompt the session saying write me a poem, and then you can get a streaming response or just a regular response if you wanted, and you just get chunks back from the stream. So it's really nice. So you could have streaming, you could add a system prompt, you could set the temperature, etc. So it's really useful. You could set initial prompts, the history, all of that. So it really supports quite a lot of things, and it's really very simple API. So I thought, okay, can I create like a fully local version of DeoChat based on this? So this is what I did. So this is a little chat button that I created. And so I can say, how do I change password in GitLab? Right. And then that goes to the local model. And then you should see soon, hopefully, the answer streaming. There you go. So the answer streaming back. It's a bit this is an old MacBook that I'm trying it on, so it's probably very slow for the model, but for a newer Mac with a M3 or M4, it should hopefully be faster. But again, this is pretty new, right? So the models will probably be improved and become faster as they distill down further. But here you go. The model, because it had been pre-trained with GitLab data, it has all of this. So this is coming directly from the local model. I can ask it another question like, how do I create a service manifest for Nginx for Kubernetes? And so again, because it's been pre-trained and the model is pretty good. The nano model, it can give me that answer right here. So I found this useful. The APIs are not widely available yet, but interesting that they're going through this whole process of getting refined and ready. And once it's available in the browser, it should be interesting to see the applications that we can build using these local models. For example, we could do local explain this issue or explain this MR, or local summarizations and stuff like that. Could be very useful to offer this as a free tier offering, or just an offering for customers to try out some of the features. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.